In her interview, the suspect overconfidently said,
I remember hearing a noise that woke me up. I was just shooting because I heard noise out there. So my reaction was just to shoot. I don't know who's out there. There's nobody else in the house. It's Jeremy and I. There should be nobody else in that house.
Okay.
She insisted she grabbed the gun and fired into the hallway, certain an intruder was inside. But the detective calmly replied,
There's no forced entry into the home. No alarms went off. No driveway alarm. All the neighbors were canvassed. Nobody heard any barking dogs. And we're left with two people in the house. One is dead, one is not. Typically, that lends itself to making you the prime suspect. I mean, you can see where I'm coming from here, correct?
That simple logic struck deeper than any accusation. This moment reflects the expectancy violation theory. When a suspect's story meets an undeniable contradiction, the truth pressures its way through. Julian thought her tale of a phantom intruder could cover every gap. She didn't expect her own environment, locks, alarms, and silence, to betray her.
11 hours before your husband is found dead, someone is on the computer in your house pulling up your father's obituary. Now, why would that be, and who would do that?
But the pertinent questions are who this demonic woman is, what happened on November the 18th, 2009, and how detectives psychologically trap her with a perfect bait.
After a Lorain County man was murdered in his home, his family continues their search for answers and a killer.
Welcome back to my channel. It was the early morning of November 18th, 2009, in rural Vermilion, Ohio. The late autumn chill hung heavy over the Lake Erie shoreline, the kind of cold November night where the darkness lingers. At around 6 a.m., a frantic 911 call pierced the quiet.
911, need a police fire ambulance. I need help. Somebody shot my husband.
On the line was Julian Simcoe, hysterical, claiming her 36-year-old husband Jeremy had been shot in the head while they slept. She told dispatchers an intruder was still in the house, and that she had fired 2 shots down the hallway in panic. When police arrived, they found an unsettling scene. The home's front door was locked, the security system was working, and there were no signs of forced entry. The Simcoe's dogs, known to bark at the slightest disturbance, had stayed silent. Forensics found no suspicious DNA, no fingerprints, and no trace of an intruder. Jeremy lay dead from a close-range gunshot to the back of his head. The case soon went cold, until in 2013, investigators uncovered a hidden side of the Simcoe's marriage. Graphic BDSM recordings and a handwritten 14-page master-slave/father-daughter contract. This disturbing discovery reshaped the investigation, suggesting control, domination, and possibly motive. So, the cops brought Julian in for interrogation, and today we will focus on the psychological elements of this interrogation.
You understand this is not a proffer and that any statement made by you may be used in this office at a later time?
Yes.
Okay. Are we under any time constraints here at all today?
Yeah, we're in a little bit of time constraint, but we have to be out of here by 3:30.
Okay. We'll try to.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me ask you guys something first, because this was a question that when we were meeting with Julian, we sort of had an issue with. And there was an article that appeared in the Lorain Journal on October 4th of 2012. And it says, after almost 3 years of investigating, Vermilion Police Chief Chris Hartung said yesterday the police department feels they have identified the murderer of Jeremy Simcoe, thus concluding their investigation. Hartung said the department is fine turning some of the abundance of evidence that will be sent to Lorain County Prosecutor Dennis Will. The police department is confident in its belief who killed Simcoe, but Hartung said they will not disclose who did it. Well, if you guys already know who did this murder, then I'm not exactly sure why you're talking to Julian.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've determined that Julian is that person, then we need to know that before we even start this interview.
Okay. No, here's what I can tell you. First of all, Chief Hartung, with all due respect, does not speak for the Lorraine County Prosecutor's Office. And that statement, I can tell you, was made without consulting the prosecutor with regard to that. This is still an open investigation. Clearly, Julene is a person of interest in this case. And, and that's one of the reasons we'd like to talk to her. We have a number of questions that relate to this, and we need her help to help us clarify that and to get us to the next phase of this. If she was the only person, I can almost assure you she would have been indicted already.
Okay. Well, that's what we want, because she had asked me that question. And, when I had talked to Dennis Will about this, I said I would like to be able to review the reports so that if there's anything that Julene can offer that would be to help with this investigation, she's willing to do that. Okay. But I couldn't do it blindly. And then when we read this article, I did talk to Dennis about it. And then Julene asked me again about it. And I said, that will be the first question before we start any interview. Okay. So I'm glad that you clarified that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I know that he doesn't speak to the prosecutor's office, but he's nothing accurate.
I don't even know what he's basing that statement on. So I can just tell you that's the position we have here is she's clearly a person of interest. We have not concluded the investigation. This is a part of the investigation. She walked in here. She's going to walk out here.
Right.
So
from the very beginning, detectives emphasized that Julene was not under arrest and was free to leave at any time. This tactic reduces resistance because it creates an illusion of control.
Okay. Now, there are a number of just very simple questions I need to ask you to get started on this, okay? Could you please confirm your full name, date of birth, and social security number?
Julene Murray Simcoe.
Okay.
And would you want social security?
Yes, please. Okay. Are you picking this up all right? Okay. All right. Now, I asked you earlier, do you mind if I call you Julene, or is there something else you prefer I call you, ma'am, Mrs.?
Julene is fine.
Okay. All right. I certainly don't want to be disrespectful in any regard. Okay. What's your current address? Okay.
Lorraine.
All right. That's Lorraine or Sheffield?
That's Sheffield Township, but mailing address is Lorraine.
Okay. The mail that you have, is that sent to your house, or does that go to a post office box?
It's sent to my house.
Okay. All right. Do you have a landline telephone at that house? Just a cell phone? And what's your current cell phone number? Okay. Most of these questions are going to be real basic. There's not going to be anything, and there's no traps in these questions, okay? Okay. What kind of vehicle are you currently driving?
Toyota.
Okay. You know what color it is?
It's black.
Okay. All right. What year is it?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Is it a newer or older?
It's newer.
Okay. All right.
Do you own it or lease it?
I own it.
Okay.
Okay. Are you currently employed?
Yes.
Okay. And where are you employed at?
It's called SOS, Select Ohio Staffing.
Okay. And where's that at?
It's in Avon Lake.
Do you know the address?
No, it's top of my head.
Okay. How long have you been employed there?
Couple weeks.
Okay. And what are your job duties or your job title?
I'm an STNA.
I don't know what that is.
State tested nurse assistant.
Okay. All right. Okay. Who's your direct supervisor?
Denny. I don't know what her last name is.
Okay. Is there a phone number for her?
I have a phone number. I don't have it.
Okay.
This minute.
All right. Okay. If for some reason we needed that later, could we get that from
Yes.
you? Okay. Super. Are you paid by check from this employer?
Yes.
And does that go by direct deposit, or do they actually physically hand you a
Hand
check?
me a check.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Detectives began with basic questions: name, address, phone number, job details. These seem meaningless, but the goal was to get Julene talking in a relaxed rhythm.
Are you currently involved in any relationships? And by that I mean, are you currently dating or engaged with anyone or something like that? Do you have a significant other in your life? Okay. So you have no relationships?
No.
Okay. All right. And some of these questions I have to ask for competency questions. So please don't take any offense to some of the things I'm going to ask you. Okay. I don't mean to be rude when I ask these questions, but they are necessary. Are you currently under the care of a mental health professional? See, a psychologist, a counselor, a psychiatrist?
Yes.
Okay. And who would that be?
Dr. Mensa.
Mensa? And where's he out of?
Mercy.
Mercy Hospital?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know exactly, has he diagnosed, or can you tell me what the reason is you go to see him?
Because of everything that's happened.
Okay. All right. Has he diagnosed you with any particular ailment?
Depression.
Depression? Anything else?
Anxiety.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's fine. I'm not trying to put you under, a lot more stress, but these are things that we're going to need to know. Are you currently taking any prescribed medication from Dr. Mensa?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Do you have medicine that is prescribed by
Yes.
Dr. Mensa? And what would that be?
Xanax.
Okay. And have you taken that in the last 24 hours?
No.
Okay. Are you currently suffering from any medical ailments that would in any way impact your ability to understand or answer the questions that we might ask you here today? No. Okay. Are you currently taking any prescribed medication other than the Xanax you talked about? Other than that, which would in any way impact your ability to understand and listen and appropriately respond to our questions today?
No.
Okay. So I may have been a little confusing on that. So are you currently taking any other prescribed medication?
No.
Okay, great. Okay.
Before diving into hard questions, detectives asked about Julien's mental health, medications, and counseling. This tactic served two purposes. It framed her struggles as understandable, reducing shame, while also gauging her mental resilience under questioning.
Have you used any illicit drugs in the past 48 hours?
No.
Okay. Have you consumed any alcohol in the last 24 hours?
Nope.
Okay. Are you a high school graduate?
Yes.
Okay. And from where?
Clearview.
Clearview. What year was that?
97.
How would you describe your grades in high school?
Average.
Average. Do you remember what your GPA was?
No.
Okay. When you were in high school, did you participate in any extracurricular activities?
Yes.
Okay. What'd you participate in?
Sports. Band.
Okay. What kind of sports?
Earlier years, basketball, volleyball,
Okay. Play an instrument?
softball. Yes.
Okay. All right. Did you attend college at any time?
Yes.
Do you have a degree?
I have a certificate.
Okay. And what is that certificate in?
It's for the STNA.
Okay. And where did you attend college at?
Learning community.
Okay. And is that the only courses you took there was for the medical field, or did you take courses for any other
I took
field?
courses right out of high school. I don't know what they all were.
Okay. You don't remember any of the courses or what field?
General courses.
Okay. Do you remember what you were trying to get a degree in or anything?
I was just going to college out of high school. Didn't really have a
Okay.
direction.
All right. Okay. When you were in college, do you remember what your GPA was in college? Okay. Super. Okay. On Wednesday, November 8th of 2009 at approximately 6 a.m., your husband was found shot through the head in your home in your bedroom. If you could, I'd like you to please recount for us your activities leading up to that event, beginning with the previous 24 hours, going back to Tuesday morning, November 17th, 2009, and then going forward to the time you called 911. And then after that, we'll discuss the following days after that event. Okay? So take your time, your own words, if you just recount for us everything that happened.
You like 24 hours before?
Yeah, when you got up
But-
Tuesday morning, how did Tuesday morning start?
I don't remember everything.
Okay, as
Um,
best you can.
During the day, we worked on the property behind us, worked in the yard, leaves, raking leaves, etc. Yard work in general.
Okay.
We were canning pumpkins the night before. I mean, I don't know specifically. I mean, those, just basically what I told you. I don't know anything specifically.
When detectives asked Julien to recount the previous 24 hours in great detail, they were applying cognitive load theory. Truth tellers can usually recall consistent details, but liars often struggle because inventing false narratives consumes mental resources.
Let's talk about when you went to bed that night. Let's start there, if you don't mind. What time was that?
I don't remember.
Okay. You don't have any idea? Was it early? Was it late?
Maybe 11, 12 o'clock.
11, 12 o'clock. Okay. So you were canning pumpkins or was it pumpkin or pumpkin seed or what?
Pumpkins in general.
Okay. All right. So you're canning pumpkins. And while you're canning pumpkins, what is Jeremy doing?
We were both working at it together.
Okay. So you're both there. Was anybody else in the house?
No.
Okay. And at what point did you cease canning pumpkins?
I don't remember
Okay.
what time it was exactly.
During that night, when you finished the pumpkins, did you and he sit down for a bit of relaxation and watch some TV or something like that?
Yeah, we were relaxing in between. It's a process, canning, sitting down, watching TV.
Okay.
Back
What were
and
you
forth.
watching it?
I think I remember we went over some stuff, and I think it was called The Prisoner. Is that what it was? I don't really remember the name of it. It was like a 3-day series.
Okay. What, HBO or Discovery? I mean, can you?
No idea. Channel
Okay.
was on.
All right. Was it a documentary or was it something
It was a
that's
show.
fictional?
Fictional.
Okay. All right. And you think it was The Prisoner?
I don't really remember the name of the show, but I think that's what it was.
Okay. All right. And you'd been watching that for about 3 days?
I think
Okay.
that was the last day.
So what time do you think you turned off the TV then?
When we went to sleep,
Okay.
before we went upstairs.
Okay. So would you have finished canning and then went back and watched some more TV, or did you finish the TV and go back and do more
I have
canning?
no idea what happened first.
Okay. All right. And when you were canning, what were you wearing?
I have no idea.
You don't have any idea.
I really don't remember what I was wearing.
Okay. Do you remember discussing this with the police early on in the investigation?
Not really.
Okay. All right. Who locked up the house when you went upstairs?
I really don't know.
Okay. Did you say, perhaps I read it, but correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say that Jeremy went out and locked up the dogs or
I think
hooked
he
up
did.
the dogs? What does that involve when you say he goes out and hooks up the dogs?
They had houses around the yard with chains, so he would have hooked everybody up.
Okay. Now, that chain lets him move how much?
I have no idea.
I mean, was it 6 foot, 8 foot, 20 foot?
Yes.
Was it a lead? Well, I don't want to put
It's
words in
6
your
to
mouth.
8 feet. I have no idea.
Okay, but they could move in and out of their
Yes,
houses,
they had
right?
They had a whole
They each
area.
could come in and out of their house when they
Yes.
were hooked up. Okay, I just want to make sure. All right. And was it generally the practice for who to lock up the house?
Just depended. It wasn't really anybody's job.
Okay.
Either him or I did it.
Who did it?
I have
Predominantly,
no
who
idea.
did it? You have no idea?
It was a combined effort. Whoever
Okay.
was the last one.
Okay.
Notice how detectives focused on mundane elements like dogs, TV shows, canning pumpkins, and household routines. This wasn't random. It's a minimization tactic designed to make the suspect feel like the interrogation is less about crime and more about lifestyle.
I
So-
don't know, I guess.
And had either of you had anything to drink that night?
Jeremy had.
Okay. And what did he have to drink?
I believe he had some whiskey and beer.
Okay. Do you know what kind of quantities he drank that in?
I wasn't keeping track.
Okay. And you weren't drinking anything?
No.
Okay. And during the course of that night before you went to bed, did either one of you take any medication?
Jeremy did.
And what did he take?
I believe he took sleeping pills.
Okay. And how do you recall that?
He normally did before we went to sleep. It was a normal habit of his.
Do you know what kind of sleeping pills he took?
I have no idea. I mean, they were blue. They were over the counter, I think.
They were okay, over the counter, but you don't know what they were. Okay. And how long had you been taking sleeping pills?
Him,
Yes.
as in prior to this,
Mm-hmm.
it was, I don't know, quite some time.
Okay. All right. And when you went to bed that night, I'm assuming all the lights were turned off in the house?
I would assume most of the lights were off.
I mean, is that the standard practice?
Yes.
Okay. That's all right.
Besides like night lights, I believe the lights would have probably been off.
Okay. And you both went to the same bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. And when you went to that bedroom, was the door open or closed when you went to sleep?
There's 2 doors in the room.
Okay.
One was closed, one was open.
Okay. The open door, where does that open up to?
Hallway.
The hallway. And the closed door, where does that open up to?
Another bedroom.
Okay.
which at that time was our office.
An office. Okay. All right. What was Jeremy wearing when he went to bed?
I didn't think he was wearing anything.
Okay. He was nude?
Yes.
All right. And how were you attired when you went to bed?
I was wearing my underwear.
Okay. And was that pretty common? Okay. As you may recall, at the time the police got there, there were several marital aids throughout the house open. Did you guys have sexual relations that night? Okay. And what was routine for sexual relations with you when you went with you two? Was it an everyday thing, a common thing every day? Okay.
I mean, usually.
Excuse me. Was there any particular reason on this night that you did not have sexual relations?
No.
Okay. All right. Had there been any arguing?
No.
Okay. No discussions, no disputes, anything at all?
Nope.
Okay. Was there any particular tension or anything between you that night that would have kept you from having relations with him?
No.
Okay. You and he weren't having any discussions about or concerns about money or buying property or anything like that?
I mean, the property was definitely on our minds.
Okay. But was it causing any tension or stress?
No more than usual.
Well, I don't know what usual would be.
We wanted the property. So that's what we were aiming for. So was there stress? There was stress over getting the property.
Okay.
Was it stress between us? No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Just in general.
How would you describe your relationship with Jeremy?
It was a good relationship.
Julene frequently claimed she couldn't remember details, what she wore, what Jeremy drank, who locked the doors. Detectives didn't confront these lapses aggressively. Instead, they asked her to think harder and revisit events step by step.
What? He was the love of my life.
Okay. How long had you been married?
10 years.
And how long did you date before you were married?
Date, probably 6 months. I'd known him years before.
And how did you know him?
Through a friend.
Okay. You didn't go to school with him or anything like that?
He lived close to my parents' house. So.
Okay. All right. How often would you guys have arguments or fights?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
I don't know how to answer that. Did we argue? Yeah, everybody argues. How often? I don't know. As often as other people argue.
Okay.
I don't know how you want me to answer that. Or how
I just want you to answer it. I just want you to answer it honestly. I'm just trying to look for some level here of how often you guys would have an argument.
We got along very well.
Okay.
So we didn't argue that often.
Sure. When you did argue, did it ever become violent?
I did tell the detective that he did hit me one time.
How long
ago was that?
was
The only
that?
time, probably when I first got married.
What was that all about?
I don't even remember, to be honest with you.
When you say he hit you, what do you mean by that?
He slapped me in the face.
Okay.
And I hit him back. And that was the end of that.
And that was the end of it.
Yeah.
And since that time, he had never struck you again?
No.
Okay. So going back to what you said, between 11 and midnight, you go to bed, right? Okay. And did anything occur that night that was out of the ordinary from any other night?
Not that I really recall. I do remember the dogs barking, but
What time were the dogs barking?
I had no idea what time it was, but it's not, it wasn't that they barked sometimes. Not anything that would alarm us. There's coyotes, there's raccoons. We have 100 acres behind us.
Okay. Well, let's go back and specifically focus in on between the hours of midnight. Let's assume that was the time you went to bed. And you said it could have been 11 to midnight, but let's assume midnight. Between the hours of midnight and the hours of 6 a.m. when the shooting was discovered. Okay. What occurred specifically during that period of time?
We heard the dogs bark at some point. Jeremy got up and yelled out the window at the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I remember saying that he might have taken another pill then. It wasn't uncommon for him. I think I said I took a sleeping pill or half a sleeping pill and I went upstairs.
That was that was before you got in bed, or?
We got into bed.
Okay.
To go to sleep.
Right.
At some point the dogs woke us up barking.
Okay.
I think Jeremy was restless. He took another sleeping pill after that.
Okay.
Throughout the interview, detectives had Julian confirm even the smallest details with yes answers. By doing so, they subtly invoked the consistency principle from persuasion psychology. Once someone verbally commits to certain facts, they feel pressured to remain consistent later.
And what was your first reaction when you heard the noise?
Well, it woke me up. So my first reaction was, what was the noise?
Okay. And
Obviously, there was a noise that woke me up.
Okay. And what immediately did you do after that?
I imagine I probably sat there a few minutes.
Okay.
And then I went down to the second floor.
Okay. Would you say it was a couple of minutes, several minutes?
Time frame, I have no idea. I mean, I'm sure I sat there a few minutes.
Okay. So a period of time elapsed from the time you heard the noise and you went downstairs.
Yeah.
What caused you to go downstairs?
I assumed Jeremy was awake shooting out the window.
Okay. And
So if he was awake, then I was going to go downstairs because he
Okay.
was awake and I was awake.
And was that a practice that you guys engaged in frequently?
What's that?
Shooting out the window?
Yes.
Okay. And what
Quite
typically would you
often.
shoot at?
Coyotes, raccoons, groundhogs.
Okay. And that late at night, you weren't concerned about it. I'm assuming this is something you had done previously, correct?
Many times.
Okay. And do you have any idea what time of the morning it was when you heard that noise? Okay. But it was, please don't let me put words in your mouth. But as I understand what you're relating to me now, it would have been during the hours of darkness when most people are sleeping, correct?
Yeah. Early
Okay.
morning.
And wouldn't that be something that would alert neighbors or concern neighbors or annoy neighbors if you were shooting out the window at that time?
We lived in a rural area.
Okay, but
wasn't
didn't you have a
uncommon.
neighbor right across the street?
Yeah.
And,
I mean, that would have been towards the back of the house. So
and within about 100 yards on either side of the house, correct?
She's not going to speculate
I
as to what a neighbor could hear or not hear. So I don't think that's a fair question.
Well,
I think that's up to the neighbors to tell you if they heard something or didn't hear something. So I'm not going to have her speculate on what a neighbor could or could not hear.
you understand we need to ask that.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think that she feels
Okay,
like
well,
she can answer
if she
that.
can't, she can't. But it was clearly during the hours of darkness, and you assumed that that he was shooting out the window at animals.
Yeah.
Okay. And what window would he normally be shooting out of?
The only window, well, I guess it isn't the only window, the window toward facing the back of the property.
Okay, just to make sure that we're always on the same page, I have some diagrams that were developed by BCI when they did the crime scene. And what I'd like you to do, if you don't mind, Jack, would you like a set of these? I'm going to point out to you here, this is the second floor of your property. And if you would, I've got a red pen here. I'd like you, okay, this would be the craft room, the office off the bedroom, and then this is north. And when you see these markings here, those indicate windows. So window there, window here. So if you would you indicate for me by circling with the pen what window you typically shot out of?
I don't really think this is north, but that's okay.
Having Julian trace her path on the BCI floor plan and circle the usual shooting window forces specific checkable commitments.
This is your bedroom here. And this is the hallway leading to the
So then it
bedroom.
would have been, what do you want me to do here?
I want you to circle
I'm
the
sorry,
window.
but she said something about you think north is incorrect.
Well, the lake is over here. So this would
She
be
thinks
north,
the
this would be
orientation on the
south,
chart is
this
off.
would be
So
east, this would be west.
It's your house.
Face the lake. So it's, I mean, yeah, maybe like that, but anyways, to me that's
okay.
north. This window. Circle it, you said?
Yeah, if you'd circle the window. And that, okay. All right. There's no window there.
Oh.
See that?
Sorry, that's a
That's the window.
dresser.
Okay.
Want me to exit?
All right. Okay. So
There's
that
a
would be
window
the,
here, window here.
that's a window
Okay,
right there.
so it's
Okay.
this window.
So it'd be that window. Okay.
This window.
All right. Now, as we're looking at this chart, this would be your bed. Which side of the bed did you sleep on?
I just slept on this side.
Okay. Would you put an X on the side you slept on?
Yes.
Okay. Let's draw a line down the middle of that. denoting. Okay. So that's your side of the bed. Okay. All right. So you hear a noise and you wait a couple of minutes upstairs, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You come downstairs. Is there a particular path you took downstairs, or you just come right down the stairs? What did you do when you hit the second floor?
Well, there's only one door to that bedroom.
Okay.
So I would have had to come out that door,
Okay.
go down the hallway, and over to the bedroom.
Okay. So you came down these stairs, walked through the craft room, into this hallway, and into that room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you would, just take a dotted line and just trace exactly where you went. Coming down the stairs. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Down the stairs. I had to go through the door. So I'm assuming this is the door.
Yes, ma'am.
Through the door.
Okay. And at this point, was the door open or closed?
It's open,
It was open. Okay. You guys sleep with the bedroom door open?
generally.
Okay.
This one is usually closed.
All right. That leads to the office?
Yeah.
Okay.
Step-by-step recreation, stairs, hallway, doorway, bed, leverages context reinstatement, a core of the cognitive interview.
Where in the nightstand was that gun?
In the drawer.
Top drawer?
Top drawer.
Top drawer. And was it underneath anything? Was it right there at top?
I don't remember.
Okay.
If it
Did
was
you have
or
to search
wasn't.
for it when you opened the drawer?
I don't really remember. I just remember
Okay.
grabbing it. Like, I don't remember.
Okay. When you picked up the gun, was it loaded?
Yes.
Was there a round in the chamber?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that normally how you maintain that weapon in the house?
Yes.
Okay. Was the safety on or off?
It was off.
Okay.
I mean,
Is
the safety was on. I'm sorry.
the safety was on?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you determine the safety was on?
Because I had to turn the safety to shoot the gun.
Okay. And what period of time did that take you to do that?
I don't know.
Did you fumble with it? Did you struggle with it? Or just from having shot the gun before, did you just flip the safety off?
No, I had fumbled with it a little bit.
Okay. How did you fumble with it?
Wasn't that familiar with the gun, so it took me.
Okay. I mean, physically, if you could just, there are different safeties on guns. Sometimes people will hold them up and look at them. I mean, there's a number of ways to resolve that issue. Yeah.
If you can recall.
I recall going towards the light of the clock
Mm-hmm.
to find the safety on it, to turn the safety.
Okay. All right. Do you remember which side of the gun the safety was on?
I have no idea.
Do you remember if it's an ambidextrous safety?
I don't know.
Okay. Had you owned the gun for a while?
It was Jeremy's gun.
And Jeremy's gun? Were you with him when he bought it?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So you get the gun from the drawer. What exactly did you, after you've got the gun from the drawer, as I understand this now, you've turned towards the clock. You've used the light from the clock.
I think
to-
I actually might have walked towards
Where was the
There's
clock
the light.
at?
on the. I'm assuming was a dresser in there. I think it was probably on the corner of the dresser
Corner of the dresser.
or on the armoire. One of the
Okay.
two. It was there.
So you've walked from here to the dresser to look, use the light of the clock to look at the safety and take the safety off. Okay. And how long did that take?
I couldn't say exactly how long it took.
Okay.
I mean, I imagine it didn't take very long.
Okay. I mean, seconds, minute.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't watching the clock.
But you have some sense of time. We've established that you're a relatively intelligent adult.
I
You know, you've
imagine
got
it probably
college.
took a few seconds.
Few seconds.
I
Okay.
don't think it
All
took
right.
minutes.
Okay. So you're right here. You've got the safety off. What is your next action?
I shot towards the doorway, Or-
Okay.
like out of the doorway.
And what were you shooting at?
I was just shooting because I heard noise out there.
Mm-hmm.
So my reaction was just to shoot. I don't know who's out there. There's nobody else in the house. It's Jeremy and I. There should be nobody else in that house.
Okay.
She says she needed the clock's glow to find the safety. Yet she also aimed and fired into a dark hallway. Detectives highlight perceptual constraints. If you can't see enough to work a safety, how reliably could you target? For liars, these physics of seeing conflicts are hard to reconcile.
All right. And why did you shoot 2 shots?
I don't remember how many shots that I shot.
Okay.
You're saying I shot 2?
All right. How many do you think you shot?
I have no idea. I know I shot the gun.
Okay.
I don't
You
remember.
shot
how
it
many
more than
times.
once, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Well,
I remember shooting the gun. How many times? I don't remember.
okay. What were you aiming at when you shot?
I was just aiming where I heard the noise.
Okay.
Out towards the hallway.
And what kind of rapid succession were you shooting the gun? Did you shoot, wait a second, shoot again, wait a second? I mean, how did you do
I
that?
imagine I probably just shot. I don't really remember what.
Okay.
I mean, it all happened really quickly. I don't remember how quickly I shot. Imagine if you say I shot 2 times, then I imagine I shot 2 times pretty quickly.
Okay.
I
So-
don't think I shot and waited to see what was going to happen.
All right. What hand did you hold the gun with?
I'm right-handed.
You're right-handed? Okay. Did you take a one-handed stance or a two-handed stance?
I just don't remember.
You don't remember how you shot the gun?
No, I don't really remember. I mean, I remember having the gun in my hand. I probably held it with 2 hands. That's how I
Okay.
would normally hold a gun.
Okay. You've done shooting before, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get into that a little bit later. Okay.
Just ask one question.
Sure.
Julian, where were you standing? You went over to the dresser where the clock was, and I'm assuming you had to lean over to get the light to find out where the safety was off. Did you shoot right from that position, or did you have to move away from the dresser to shoot?
I was at the foot of the bed somewhere. I imagine in that general vicinity.
Okay. So you
when I
moved
shot.
from here back over to the foot of the bed?
I don't know if I moved at all. I mean, I know I was at the foot of the bed and I was shooting that way. I don't know if I moved this way 5 feet or this way 5 feet, but I was at the foot of the bed.
But you had moved somewhat from the dresser.
Well,
No, I'm asking.
I
I'm
have
not
no, I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I remember
right.
shooting. I remember being at the foot of the bed. I
Okay.
remember using the light from that clock.
Okay. When you say the foot of the bed, if you would.
I was probably maybe in this vicinity here.
Okay. Would you just draw a circle where you think you were at?
I was probably, I have no idea. I
Best-
really don't
Look,
know.
give me your best recollection. I understand it's not going
If
to be
the
an
clock is
exact
right
science.
there, I was probably maybe in this area.
Okay. All right. And if you just put mark that with a red S.
They press for stance, 1 hand versus 2 hand, and shot cadence. Procedural memory, how we physically do things, is resilient under stress for real experiences, but flimsy in invented stories.
Okay. All right. Now, what do you do from that point? What's the next thing you did?
I think what I did next was I ran over and shut the bedroom door and locked it.
Okay. And then what did you do?
And then I went back to the bed.
Okay. And then what did you do?
I think I rolled Jeremy over. I noticed there was a lot of blood. I think I put a towel like on his head where it was bleeding.
Okay.
I looked for a phone to call, and the phone was usually, I mean, I think the charger was probably over here somewhere,
Mhm.
and I didn't see the phones, and his phone was on his dresser. So I used that phone
Okay.
to call the operator.
Okay. And at any time prior to this, had you turned on an interior light?
At some point when I was in the bed, I turned on the light.
Where's the light switch at there?
It was like directly over towards the foot of the bed. There was the light switch is on the wall, but just use the pull thing.
Okay. So you just reached up while you're on the bed and turned on the light?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that how you turn the light off at night? You just reach up and use the pull shine?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So from the time you called 911, how much time elapsed before you got on the bed? Or did you get on the bed first and then
I
come
was
back
already
and
on
call
the bed.
911? Okay. You took the phone with you.
No,
Okay.
I came and got onto the bed and went to Jeremy,
Mhm.
and I have no idea how much time elapsed. And I looked for the phone at some point, which I believe the charger was over here and the
Okay.
phone wasn't there, but his phone was on the dresser. So I grabbed his cell phone and called while I was in the bed with him.
When you say dresser, do you mean his nightstand or
Yeah,
over here
the
on the
nightstand.
dresser? Okay. So you're saying you picked up his phone
I believe it was on the nightstand when I picked
from
it
his
up.
nightstand. Okay. And you were in the bed when you picked that up. In your, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, what did you do with the gun, Julian, after you fired?
I think I kept it with me.
Okay.
I believe so. I don't really remember
Okay.
what
When you-
transpired with the gun.
Right. I understand. When you went for the turn on the light or reached over to get the phone, do you have any recollection whether you were also had your hand on your weapon at the same time? Or would you have dropped it?
I may have set it down.
set it.
I honestly don't remember at that
Okay.
point what I did with the gun.
Okay, but if you did set it down, you would have set it in the bed. Assuming.
Bed.
Okay.
I would dress or something like that. I'm pretty sure I kept it with me.
Just for clarification purposes, I just normally use these two tables at each end of the bed. I usually refer to them as nightstands or night tables.
Up at the head here?
Yeah, you refer to them as dressers. What do you refer this to?
I guess I just used it both ways. So
Right. Okay, I understand.
I know in my head what I'm talking about when I say it, but it just clarified that, I think.
Okay.
The exact ordering matters. Keeping a lie consistent across a minute-by-minute chain increases cognitive load.
All right, so there's no questions regarding the break-ins that you're going to answer, right? No. Okay. All right. We have some issues with regard to a number of inconsistencies that have come up during the period of this investigation. And I understand that there's trauma involved here, that it's a difficult time, but we're left with a feeling that we don't have the complete story. And if we did, we probably would have been beyond this point today. Okay. Can you understand what I'm saying? All right. So before we get into the inconsistencies, is there anything about this incident that you haven't told us that you would like to tell us?
No.
Okay. Anything you,
No.
okay. Anything you think we've missed?
As in?
Any questions that you think I should have asked you that I didn't ask you?
She's not going to speculate as to what you should have asked her.
Okay.
That's your job.
Okay.
She's just going to answer whatever questions you ask her that are proper questions. She will answer.
I have a couple about the gun.
Sure. Yes.
Julian, when you fired the gun in the bedroom, did you use one or two hands?
I don't remember what I used.
Normally, when you shoot,
I didn't shoot that gun very often. I probably used two hands.
Okay. Just based on what you're telling us, you take the gun with you to the bed, and prior to taking your gun with you, when you checked Jeremy, you also felt something wet. I'm assuming that was blood. Okay. After you shoot, you go to the bed and you take the gun with you, and as you indicated, there was blood everywhere. Did you wipe that gun off in any way? The reason I ask you that is because there wasn't any blood on that weapon that you fired. I'm assuming that had you had it on your hands or in the bed, there would have been some blood on there. And I didn't know if you had wiped the gun off in any way.
I don't remember wiping it.
Okay.
I don't know why I would have wiped the gun off.
Any idea on why there was no blood on the weapon?
They don't accuse. They introduce facts, blood everywhere, but the fired weapon shows none. The SUE technique reveals evidence selectively after the suspect commits, making inconsistencies feel self-generated, which is more persuasive and disarming than direct accusation.
There was some time between when you heard the noise and you grabbed the gun, you went to the closet, you moved to the end of the bed, and then you shot several times. Okay. At that time, and you probably had time to think about this, if there was somebody in the house, how he got out or how long it took him to get out. The revolver that was used was found on the kitchen floor. Okay. The revolver had no blood on it either. The revolver was used a couple of inches away from Jeremy when it was fired. So there would have been a significant amount of blowback on that weapon. But when the gun was found, there was no blood on it. And I was just Was there enough time that someone could have wiped that off?
No idea
Okay.
what someone might have done.
Okay. Normally, you had indicated that normally when Jeremy hooked the dogs up, he would lock the doors. I think in a previous statement, you had indicated to the police that this was something that he normally did. So when he went out to hook up the dogs, he normally came in and he would lock all the doors. That was kind of like
he was the last one. Yeah.
Yeah. There was no fingerprints of Jeremy found on the door to the kitchen. And no DNA that would have indicated that he would have touched that door.
You thought he would have touched the door. That was the only door we used in the house.
I know. And I didn't know whether or not, I don't know how that would have occurred either. I'm just.
Guess is as good as mine. You guys are the experts.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out.
The gun that was used to kill Jeremy, the 357, the one that you guys used at the range for qualification, where was that normally kept?
Normally?
Yes.
I don't know about normally. I believe that gun was in our china cabinet.
Okay.
At that time.
All right. Was that a usual place to keep it?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
It would be in there, sometimes not.
All right. Is there any reason that you can think of that a DNA swab of the curio cabinet would only have your DNA on it?
Absolutely not. Nor can I say why the back door would not have Jeremy's DNA, since that was the door that everybody used to get into the house.
Okay.
I find that to be very strange.
Okay.
No Jeremy DNA on the commonly used door. Only Julene on the curio with a .357. By foregrounding routine behavior. Who always uses which door? They use base rate expectations. When habitual patterns don't leave expected traces, the story, not the science, looks shaky.
Which two tended not to be people friendly?
Pele was not very people friendly, and Cindy probably would have just ran into her doghouse and hid, because she at night she was scared of everything.
Okay. If you just circle those two for me, please.
Matter of fact, when the police came back to the property before with a flashlight, on the dog, and she ran into her doghouse and hid. That's how
all right.
Much of a scaredy cat she is.
All right. And you have a camera system that's recording on your house. So we'll agree to disagree on whether or not it's a low crime rate area. Okay. But we have a security conscious couple. There's only the two of you in the house. You go to bed that night. You have dogs that bark all around your property. You have an alarm system in your driveway. Mm-hmm. You have an alarm system on your house. And I understand it's not being monitored by an alarm company.
It was not even on. We hadn't used that, to be clear.
Okay. Do you understand it was working when BCI
the chimes were working. That had not been turned on for a long time.
Okay.
The actual
when you say the chimes
system
are working, what do you mean?
I mean, when you open the back door or the side door or the basement door, it would give a chime.
Right. But it wasn't sending an alarm to any place.
Just the security system was not.
Sure. Just the chimes.
There were motion detectors in the house. Those were not on.
Okay. But the chimes on the doors would sound.
Yeah.
And it's only those 4 first floor doors, right? You didn't have any. Did you have any windows hooked up?
No. There was a front door, side door, back door, and a basement door, but we were all hooked into the chimes.
And that chime's like a 3-tone chime or something like that. Your driveway alarm's kind of a long, annoying blare. Okay. All right. So I've got that right. Okay. So follow me here, if you will. It's the hours of darkness. It's cool weather. We have a security conscious couple that has camera systems, an alarm, and 4, to the outward observer, would look like security dogs surrounding the house. Your husband locks up the door. You go to bed.
So he locked up the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is there any reason to believe that the door would not be locked if that's the general habit? Okay. All right. So we can agree that normally the doors were locked and there's no reason to have this door not locked, right? Okay.
Dogs outside, chimes on doors, driveway alarm, cameras. They don't say you did it. They weight probabilities. An intruder would need to bypass multiple layers without prints, DNA, or noise. This Bayesian framing nudges the audience and the suspect toward the simplest explanation.
For whatever reason, we have a couple that has a very active sex life by your own admission, previous statements. You don't engage in any sexual relations that night, yet there are marital accoutrements out and ready and present in the bedroom. And look, there's no judgment here. We're just trying to recall facts, okay? For whatever reason, you remove yourself from the bedroom.
By the way, when I said, I just want to make this clear, it's not like we had sex every night, okay? It wasn't like it was 3 times a week. I mean, I wasn't counting. We did often.
I'm just relying on statements you made on previous interviews.
I'm just letting you know.
Okay, no, please tell me. I mean, on most days,
it wasn't like there was anything going on that caused us to not. We just didn't.
Okay, all right. But I want to be fair to you. Is it more common for you to have sexual relations when you go to bed at night, or is it more uncommon for you not to?
It wasn't always at night.
Okay. During that day, no time on the 17th did you engage in relations, correct? Okay. And that was typical or atypical?
It was nothing different about that than, we just didn't have sex, that's all.
All right. Were there a reason that the marital aids were left out in the open like that?
I used them often.
Okay. All right.
Nobody was usually on the second floor. I mean, most guests were on the first floor.
Okay.
Had they been up there, guests before? Yes.
Okay.
Was the stuff out? No.
Okay. And were you and Jeremy in an exclusive relationship?
Yes.
Okay. So there were no third parties introduced into this. Okay.
They highlight no sex tonight, but marital aids left out. When behavior doesn't match environment, the consistency principle forces the suspect to explain the contradiction.
So during the course of that night, you remove yourself to another room. You hear a noise that you have described various times in different ways, persons. You wait several minutes upstairs.
I don't know how long it was.
Well, I'm using your words. Yeah, I'm just using your words.
When I said it before, I said I wasn't clear. I mean,
okay.
I wasn't watching a clock.
Understand. But you didn't come down right away. When you came down the stairs, did you run down the stairs? Did you walk?
I walked down the stairs.
You walked down the stairs. Okay. Was there any trepidation about coming downstairs at that time?
No.
You had no fears, no concerns?
No.
Okay. All right. So you come downstairs. You find Jeremy shot. Okay. You don't know if there's an intruder in the house. You hear what you think you hear a noise that concerns you. Were you afraid?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then you fire 2 shots. You eventually call 911. You try CPR. You move him off the bed. So we're left with the officers get there. They check the residence. There is no forced entry into the residence. None whatsoever.
How did they get in?
The back door was open. The screen door was closed. The back door was open. The 357 that was used.
Because I remember them saying something about asking to knock down the door or something or gain entry.
Who did that?
I thought I remember either I read it somewhere or I remember hearing it on the phone that they had asked if they could, I think the 911 operator asked me if they could come into the house, the police, and of course I said yes.
And then the 911 operator asked you if they had permission to break in the door?
I thought that's what I remember hearing.
All right. So the officers get there. And they did, in fact, try to get into the front door, which was secured, and they kicked it several times and could not gain entry. Okay. And they came around to the back by the kitchen, and the screen door is closed. The other door is open. They find the 357 that was used to shoot Jeremy laying on the floor. Okay. It has 6 rounds in it. 5 are live. 1 has been expended. Okay. The round that shot Jeremy. They come into the house, and as you know, they come upstairs, they find you. So we have a couple, both of them went to bed, okay? There's no forced entry into the home. No alarms went off. No driveway alarm. All the neighbors were canvassed. Nobody heard any barking dogs. And we're left with two people in the house. One is dead, one is not. Typically, that lends itself to making you the prime suspect. I mean, you can see where I'm coming from here, correct? Okay.
By breaking down every step, noise, stairs, shots, door, 911, detectives raise the cognitive load. False stories crack when stretched across too many fine details.
Yeah. Was he a jealous individual, his husband?
I don't think so, no.
No. Was he controlling?
I guess we were both controlling over certain aspects of our life.
Okay.
So it depends on what exactly you're asking about.
Okay. I was just trying to get a picture of the relationship between
Controlling
the two.
over me? No.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So you were both dominant is what you're saying.
In different areas. We all have things that we are good at. We all have things that we're not. We all
Right.
contribute somehow to a relationship.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
How would you describe the relationship with your father in the last years of his life?
I only met with my father one time.
And when was that?
It was when he was in the hospital.
When you say only met with him one time, is that you're talking about after he was incarcerated? And
I
he was
believe
released
that
or-
was the only time that I met with him after that. I'm not sure,
Okay, what
to
hospital
be
was that?
exact. I think it was at Mercy.
Okay, and what was the nature of that meeting?
He was dying.
Okay,
And
Had-
all the siblings got together
okay.
and went there.
Was there anything significant he said to you at that time?
Nope.
Okay. Had your father ever apologized to you for the actions he'd inflicted on you?
Nope.
Okay. Did you still resent that?
I didn't resent it. It wasn't even something I thought about on a daily basis.
It didn't
I had
bother you?
resolved that in my life long before.
At what point in your life do you think you resolved it?
I don't know. I went through a lot of counseling for it.
Okay. How many years would you say you went through counseling for that?
I have no idea.
I mean, 2, 7?
I don't know. I was young.
Okay. All right. Here's why I asked the question. Clearly, it was a horrific thing that was done to you by your father. It's horrific, inexcusable. Okay. I'm sure you're aware that during the course of the investigation, subsequent to the search warrants, that we seized the computer equipment, and that computer equipment was examined. When we talk about there are a number of issues that arise, such as I've laid out for you already, that would tend to make you the prime suspect. Okay. 11 hours before your husband is found dead, someone is on the computer in your house pulling up your father's obituary. Now, why would that be, and who would do that?
Well, first of all, I would like to see that proof of that because I don't think that ever happened.
Well, we have that proof.
Well, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see what time it was and everything else.
Oh, I can tell you exactly. It happened at 18:57 and 03 seconds on July 17, 2009. And if you go to this URL, this website, you'll pull up exactly this obituary.
You said July 17th?
No. November 7th. I may have said July, November 17th. It's 11 hours before the homicide was called in.
They disclosed the chilling fact. 11 hours before the 911 call, someone at the house pulled up her abusive father's obituary. The SUE tactic plus emotional salience, availability, makes it stick powerfully.
All right, getting back to the point. Again, you see that adds to our sense of concern about only two people in the house, 11 hours before he's found deceased.
What time would that be? What is 18? Is that
6 o'clock.
It was 3 minutes till 7 p.m. Okay, that search is conducted. At 6:06 a.m., you make a call to 911. So roughly 11 hours before your husband is shot, a person that you have a father-daughter slave relationship, role play, as you say, someone pulls up the obituary of the very person that had a father-daughter sexual relationship with you. That makes one wonder if there is a nexus here or a tie-in with this. I mean, you can understand how we might be concerned about that.
I can understand. I'm telling you, I am not the one that
Okay.
is using
Is
the
there any
computer.
reason Jeremy would have done that?
No idea.
Does anybody ever come in your home and use your computers?
Mhm.
Who does that?
We've had friends use the computers before.
Okay. And did anybody come in your home and use computers at 7 o'clock that night? Okay.
I
So,
believe it was just two of us there. all
okay.
evening.
All right. So nobody could have done that search except one of you two that night, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. We get to the 911 call. Okay. You call the 911 operator. She asked you at one point, did he shoot himself? And you answer no. How did you know that he did not shoot himself?
Because he wouldn't shoot himself.
How did you know?
He was my husband.
Okay.
Usually know these things.
Okay. The operator asks you, is there an intruder in the house? And you say yes. How did you know there was an intruder in the house?
The same reason I shot the gun.
You heard
Obviously, I didn't shoot Jeremy. I didn't kill my husband. So obviously somebody else was in the house.
it. Okay.
And they weren't there for any good purposes.
On 911, she insists he didn't shoot himself, and there's an intruder, despite not witnessing it. Detectives exploit this as epistemic inconsistency. How could she know unless she was involved?
Okay. We get back to the inconsistencies that we see in this case. All right. We see that you make that immediate statement to 911. He didn't shoot himself, but if you weren't present at the shooting, how would you know that? You say there's an intruder in the house. Yeah, you heard a noise is all you heard. Let's go to the kitchen where the gun was found. Okay. We find the gun. First of all, in any shooting like that, have you ever shot into a mud hole or anything like that, or shot into the water, shot close to a tree? You ever done any of those things? If you have, you'll notice that you get splashback or blowbacks onto the weapon. Okay. So someone took the time in between the time Jeremy was shot to clean that weapon of any blowback. Here's the really interesting thing. If we assume your theory that there is an intruder in the home, don't you think the intruder would be in a hurry to leave if he heard the shots that you fired?
I would say, yeah.
Okay. But yet this intruder who gained access to the house without setting off the door alarm, without being caught on the camera, without setting off any of the driveway alarm, without making any of the dogs bark, without being noticed by any outside sources, without forcing entry into the home, has made his way into a darkened home, has found a gun on a curio cabinet that bears only your DNA, removes a gun from a holster, goes upstairs to the room where you and Jeremy typically sleep together. That person has to lean across the bed, get within 2 inches of Jeremy's head, pull the trigger, shoot him in the back of the head, taking his life instantaneously. Then, follow me here, please. Then, yes, he was shot in the back of the head. Okay. So follow me now. You see why we have the concerns we have. That person then has to leave there, decides not to search for you at all, isn't worried about you, even though they're armed with a gun, goes downstairs, ostensibly knocks over a chair, but the chair is knocked over in such a manner that the robe is laying underneath it, so it wouldn't have made much noise. It would have been a cushioned fall. Takes the time to clean all the blowback off that gun, which is a considerable amount of time, and then doesn't drop it on the floor because we had BCI checked for that.
They layer improbabilities. No dogs, no chimes, no alarms, no forced entry. By Bayesian logic, the simplest explanation, Julian herself, grows more persuasive than a ghost intruder. In this final interrogation, detectives systematically dismantled Julian Simcoe's intruder story. By pressing her on timelines, the clean gun paradox, and the improbability of forced entry, they exposed contradictions that undermined her credibility. Introducing the BDSM contract and the father's obituary search added motive context, linking psychological control and past trauma to potential intent. From a legal standpoint, detectives achieved 3 key things. They boxed her into statements that conflict with physical evidence, eliminated alternative suspects, and established opportunity within a locked house. These inconsistencies, coupled with circumstantial motive, provided prosecutors with a strong evidentiary foundation for conviction. Julian Simcoe was convicted in October 2017 of aggravated murder, felonious assault, and tampering with evidence for the 2009 killing of her husband Jeremy. The court sentenced her to 28 years to life in prison. This sentence reflects the gravity of her offenses. By setting a substantial minimum term, 28 years, the court ensures she serves a significant portion before parole eligibility, with no guarantee of release if deemed unrehabilitated. Legally, this sentencing underscores the seriousness with which the justice system views premeditated domestic homicide, especially when coupled with staging, misleading evidence, and efforts to obstruct the investigation.